To do our running stitch, I like to have a vertical line. Vertical means up and down. So I'm going to actually turn this line if this is where I have to stitch. And then I'm going to take my threaded needle and stick it under the burlap. Anytime you start a new stitching, you want to start on the bottom side so that we don't see the knot. Then you want to poke around until you find the very end of the line that you're stitching on. And then you pull it all the way through, and it's important that you keep pulling until the knot hits the back. Once the knot hits the back, we're ready for our stitching. To do the running stitch, what I like to do is I like to put one thumb next to this string where it comes out, and then I just pinch a little bit. It's really important that that's where I pinch, and I don't pinch up here or too far behind. I really want to make sure my thumb is right next to the string. Then I pinch forward a little bit, and notice how I'm not touching the line. This just makes it a little bit easier. I'm then going to count the holes that are in the burlap. So there are these little tiny holes, and I like to count 1, 2, 3, 4 holes, and I only stick the tip of my needle underneath, and then I come back out on the black line 2 stitches later. So I should see 2 little rows of burlap there, and then I pull it all the way through. I don't have to go down to the back side at all until I get to the end. Then I'm going to move my thumb forward, put it right next to this string where it comes out, pinch again, and then do the same thing. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 holes, stick the tip of my needle under, and then come out 2 rows later there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see just a little bit more clearly here. And let me show the same thing again. So again, my thumb goes next to this string right here, and then I pinch a little bit. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, staying on that black line, and I should have 2 little rows of burlap before I come back out. Now you don't have to be exact. If you count 5 holes instead, that's okay. If it's 3 sometimes, that's okay, but it should be about 4 and 2. And then you just continue that all the way to the end. So I move my thumb forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, go under 2, and then move my thumb forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, go under 2. And at the end, we're going to do something a little bit different. When we get to the end, all I'm going to do at the very end is I'm just going to go down to the back side. So I found the end of my line, and I'm going to push this all the way down to the back side, and then we're going to tie a knot on the back. So I flip this over, and I like to make this little swirl here, like that. Kind of looks like a little seashell. And then I'm going to use the tip of my needle to go under the middle of this. And then once it's through, I'm going to use 2 fingers to sort of guide my knot so that it's as close to the burlap as I can. I don't want it to be loose because then my stitches might be loose. Then once I have a nice knot, that's when I can cut it. So I cut a little bit away from that little knot, and we've got our running stitches done.